Before I begin my presentation, quick show of hands. How many of you have followed an order in the past 24 hours? Hands up if you have followed any sort of order. 有人命令过你的话，你就把手举起来。Right, hands down. Now, take a moment to think. What was the order? I have a shocking statistic for you all today that reveals some disturbing nature about humans. Did you know that 65% people were willing to shock a stranger? That came from Milgram's 1963 experiment. It was considered controversial, as he studied how ordinary people would administer electric shocks that were considered lethal, like 450 volts, to a stranger. What for? You may ask. The reason simply was because they misspelled a word. Whereas, sometimes, we all fail as human beings to challenge authority. Historian Christopher Browning once said, "Evil that arises out of the ordinary thinking is committed by ordinary people." It's the same. It's not a norm. It's not an exception. His research on Battalion 101 in Poland during World War II showed that ordinary citizens could become monstrous killers who take the lives of tens and thousands of Jews, including women and children. Evidence itself fails. False claims will thrive if we let evidence die. In grade 11, being a third culture kid, I was gutted by a rumor spread about me. I cried until 1 a.m. in the morning, not knowing why. And I got called a coward, and I never replied. I just stayed silent because I thought silence was the answer. And then I felt somebody shake me. Somebody was really there. They said, "Don't cry. They're not worth your tears. Why are you crying?" And then I heard that sharp voice I heard so many times in Prime Minister's questions from the UK. "Where is your evidence, Prime Minister?" I never knew who he was. Just those words that rewired my brain from that day on. But this isn't just about schoolyard rumors that we face all the time. It's not about lies that we hear every day. It's about migrants being called killers in political speeches. It's about basic human rights being revoked. And it's about an increase in incidents such as anti-Semitism. And even in classrooms, teachers, when you see learners staying quiet, do you think they want to be quiet? Because they have no proof. That's why they will choose to be quiet. Studies show that by asking what is the ethical cost of doing something can help reduce blind compliance by 52%. Whereas a study in neuroscience about your mind using MRI can help you activate your brain's moral cortex. So, to benefit everybody sitting here, I've developed a 3-step toolkit that we can all use. Number 1, challenge. Dare to ask why. Why do I have to follow such an order? And let the person cite their source. 2, verify. Global data speaks louder than your gut feelings. Number 3, act. You should speak, you should refuse. Or, if you're doing an election, you should vote. I had a good think recently about who he was, who that voice was. Who was that voice I mentioned? That night, I never knew who he was when I cried. I just remembered the quote, "Where is your evidence, Prime Minister?" The next day, it was September 27th, 2024. It was a man who spent his whole life behind a podium, no matter in the UN, in courtrooms, or in Parliament during Prime Minister's questions. His name is Keir Rodney Starmer. He is the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom who I never knew. He doesn't know me, I don't know him, but he has taught me that evidence itself is not just a shout. It's simply asking for receipts and demanding evidence. Questioning authority is not about rebellion. I know how all of us might think. We have to listen, we have to do A, we have to do B. But no, I challenge this. I dare you all to know that challenging authority is the duty of every ethical citizen, and it's the critical thinking skills that YCYW has equipped us for to make a step onto a global world. It's about how we uphold our moral rigor. Think about how much conflict recently, Palestine and Israel, Ukraine and Russia, it's about how we uphold moral rigor during this turbulent time. And maybe next time, if somebody asks you before a speech, turn off your phones, silence your phones, ask why. Why should I do so? Because this is my final note. Acting ethically is not hard. I know how many of you think it's hard. And it's about making the world a better place by upholding moral rigor. Thank you for listening. Merci, everyone.